Good evening, party people. I do hope that this video finds you well. Um, I've just been watching back on a few of my videos, and in some of them, I talk about certain things and I say, and I'll touch upon that a little bit more later. And I haven't. So, whilst there's a little bit of tranquility here at Hippie Witch HQ, and all the kids are upstairs or in bed, and there's no TV driving you nuts, and it's all really rather calm, I just thought I'd address a few issues. You have to excuse me, I've got a bit of a scratch on. I do not know what's going on here. Anyway, in one of my videos, I talk about how we need to own our emotions, how it's wrong that boys are told they're not allowed to cry, and how I pick up on the fact that the term that's used as "you are spoilt" is a bad term. I'm going to expand on that, okay? Now, there are a lot of people that talk about the good old days. And whenever I used to speak to my late nan years ago, she was born in 1923 and she was a teenager going into womanhood throughout the Second World War. And what she said to me was, they weren't the good old days, Hayley, she says, because we had nothing and we were starving. And she was honest about that. Now, I am a child of the 70s. I was born in the mid-70s, and I grew up from a small child into a teenager through the 80s, and then went into my teenage years and into my early 20s in the 90s, and thereon. You can do the maths, yeah. So I'm also going to say the same. Because you see a lot of these posts on social media, and people talk about playing out till late, till the street lamps come on, and you ate what you were given, and you respected your elders, and rah, 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 rah. I'm going to be a bit honest about this, okay? I'm glad I'm not a kid anymore, and they were the bad old days, and I'll tell you this why. Because there was a certain mentality that seems to have been quite prevalent through quite a long time that shames you. And it's no coincidence there are an awful lot of us in our 30s and 40s and 50s and possibly 60s that have been in therapy for decades. That does not correlate with the good old days saying, let's be honest. All the if you have a marriage, you must work at it and stick together. There were so many families that stuck together because you have to make do amend, even when it's irretrievably broken, and doing it for the sake of the children. The sake of the children has left these adult children in therapy, which is now in turn affecting their children. It's not for the sake of the children, it's too bleeding scared to break the generational curses, let's be honest. There's also talk about owning emotions as well. There are lots and lots of men out there that now have been in therapy, and there's a huge male suicide rate as well, and a huge mental health ratio of men out there that are struggling because of this fucked up conditioning that we all had in this generation, that you must have a stiff upper lip, you mustn't cry, you must be a man, you must be there. Well, it makes me so angry, okay? Everything in this world has been so geared towards gender and what other people think rather than your own personal self than should be, okay? So these poor small boys that were told to not cry and keep a stiff upper lip are now broken men. How is that the good old days? I'm going to speak up. I mean, it does go both ways, male and female. As a 100% female myself, I've been in out of therapy for the last 30 years as well, okay? But I am going to address the male issue because there are several of my friends that are male that struggle inordinate, I can't even say the words, massively, okay, with mental health. And it's all to do with their upbringing and the generational fucked upness that was prevalent in the good old days. There's also another saying as well, which seems to be bandied about still these days, it upsets me, that if you do something nice for your kids, someone else will say, oh, look at you, you're being spoiled. There's a negative connotation to that. And I've always and I've always said to my kids, no, you're not being spoiled, because that denotes that you don't deserve it. When you do, you are being treated. So whenever other well-meaning third parties have said to my children on birthdays, Christmas, or just because it's a Tuesday, oh, look at you, you're being spoiled, my empowered hippie children, who are almost genderless, say, no, we're not being spoiled because we've deserved this, we are worthy of this, we are being treated. Mental health and spiritual health is key. It comes first before everything. There is no movement on that. There is no compromise on that. There is no discussion on that. If you disagree and you think a slap task never did you any harm, then you can unsubscribe now. I'm not even going to sugarcoat this, okay? If you love someone and you care for them, you do not mistreat them to teach them. You educate them with kindness and sensitivity, okay? Yeah, all this a slap when I was a kid never did me any harm. It never did you any harm, so you feel that you can control your own children or people you care about of violence. Go fucking figure. Seriously, so this is what my point is, yeah? The term spoilt has got a negative connotation to it. And all these words are harmless. They're not harmless. Words are spells, which is why they're called spelling. Choose your words carefully. Choose your actions carefully, okay? If you're wrong and you're out of line, apologise, own up, explain. You can't justify that bad behaviour, but you can explain it. Be the better person. Don't have a go at your kid because they're a boy and they want to play with dolls. What's that teaching the kid who's a sissy? No, that's bollocks. They are being a kind, empathetic human being. My daughter wants to play with Lego. She wants to play with cars and she wants to build machines. That means she's creative. This is just an example, okay? I've always said to my kids, there are no boys' toys and there are no girls' toys. There are toys that you enjoy. And if you are given those toys, it's because you deserve it, because you are worthy of love and kindness. You are not spoiled. You are treated and loved. My children are not narcissistic, they are not self-entitled, and they are not expectant, because my kids know that if there is ever a no from me, there is a very good reason why. They never question, they never beg, they never harass. I never get peer pressure or, whinging and moaning off of them, and they're never on at me for anything. My kids are actually really well-balanced kids. I have never had to strike them to get my point across, because then when you do, you have lost control. And if you do disagree, you can unsubscribe. I know this. I grew up in an environment that was the good old days, and it's left me very scarred indeed. And it's only because of my own spiritual strength and my badassery have I managed to pull myself, and am still attempting to pull myself up out of this quagmire of mess, and raise 3 relatively balanced children on my own as a single parent, which is a stigma in itself. I have 3 children by 2 different fathers. On paper, I'm a real hot mess. But in reality, my kids perform top in all of their schools. Their mental health is relatively balanced considering what they've been through. They're healthy, they're happy, they're smart, and they're good, respectful kids that know right from wrong. That's the aim of the game. Now, everyone's got their scars. No parent is perfect. But at least my kids understand authenticity, responsibility, and taking ownership. Hopefully, through our own experiences here from our good old days, those of us that are stronger have learned to own it, and will help to build a generation that will have their shit together a little bit more than the last one. So, you love something, you don't treat it like shit to show 'em who's boss. You get rid of the control, you get rid of the nastiness. You treat everything that you love with kindness, responsibility, and patience. When you want a flower to bloom in a vase, you don't smack it, do ya? Or shield it from the light, or show it who's boss. No, you nurture it, you water it, you watch it flourish. No difference with humans. You don't have a go at it because it's a red rose in a blue vase. No, you don't judge it by what it is. Yeah, you don't do it, yeah? Boys and girls, humans, yeah? You love your children, you nurture them, you accept them for who they are, not what you want them to be and what you feel you haven't achieved. Not your life is theirs. Yeah, you got your own issues, you deal with your own issues. It's not your kids' problem, yeah? And your problems are not your kids' problems either. All love each other. teamwork. I don't need to exert control in my house. My kids already know who's boss anyway. Yeah. So basically, when you want to be nurtured and you want to nurture, you do it with kindness. Trust me, you get so much more by tact than bluster. That's my rant, yeah? So you're not spoiled, you are treated. Guys, you've got to get out of this mindset, yeah? Just because it's always been done doesn't mean it's correct. Yeah, it's just a habit and it's not a good habit. So, not spoiled, treated. Yeah? You're worth it. You deserve it. You're worthy of love. You are not less than because you are different. You've just got a select place on this planet. Okay? Know this. I do hope that this is perhaps, expands on some kind of clarity that may have been rolling around in your head. But this is my rant on humanity in the good old days. So, although we've had Jumanji here this year and it's been shits up, tits up every month, every week, and the government, well, you could have a Netflix box set of your own with that lot. Although it's been a crazy year, it's been an eye-opener. And it's been probably better than any of the years I spent as a kid in the good old days because it's been peaceful with just me raising my 3 kids on my own, my way, in the kind way, and in the right way for us. So, although I look like a right old state on paper, I've never been happier. So that's just my insight into how I feel about the good old days and how now I absolutely love being an adult because it means I can be a child safely. Keep spreading the love. Know that you too are loved and that you too are worthy. Didn't need to make any sense. I just want to get that off my chest. So guys, be good, be kind, be loving. Till the next time. See ya.